let's talk about my impressions of the machine that I've had now for 3 years and put hardly that much time into it. So my impressions are still really favorable. It's too much machine for me and too much machine for the local roads. There's no question about that. It's immensely powerful. What's nice about it is right now I'm tootling along in third gear at about 45, 46 miles an hour. And it's got V torque, even though it's not a V twin, it's a V2, V4, sorry, it's not a V twin, it's a V2, it's a V4. But it's got V torque, so it'll pull pretty happily from low RPMs without getting all loaded up. And the fueling and the design are such that it handles that sort of thing well. It's really made for twisty roads. I don't think this, twisty roads with not much traffic. I don't think this is a track machine by any stretch. I don't think you can ride this. I would say what you ought to be if you go to the track. You can take it on the track, of course, but if you want to be on the track, you want to be on one of the R versions of the Aprilia family, of the V4 family. You'd want to be on one of the R versions, or perhaps the 660. My friend Ashley Johnson has a 660 and he loves it, and that's probably all around a more, I believe his is a Tuono 660, and it's not probably, there's no two probablys about it. See, it just pulls smoothly up that hill. It's absolutely more appropriate for city streets and the kind of riding that I'm going to say most of us do on a regular basis. I'm sure it is. And it's less expensive to operate and take care of. So this is way too much for the street, way too much for me. Do I like it? Yeah, I like it a lot. Now, for those of you that don't know, I had a big hole in the road there. Thank you very little, City of San Diego. I had a 2017 Tuono Factory that I really enjoyed and liked. And that one I was able to put a lot of miles on, well, relatively speaking, for me anyway, quite a number of miles. And it was always a reliable machine. Oh dear. So we got lots of traffic going on here, and all of us are turning left, so we are stuck in this line for a while. Sorry, folks. But big hole in the road. I don't know if you can see it right ahead of me there, but it's a big hole. And it's a cool day, so my helmet is fogging up. I don't have pin locks on. So, yeah, I liked that, and this is just that little bit better in every way. The active suspension, the motor, the overall package is just that little bit better, as you would imagine from 5 years on in development, from 2017 to 2021. Now, to my knowledge, the 23s, 24s have not changed substantially control-wise, etc. They really are still in the same form factor, more or less. I'm sure they've nibbled away at the edges and made bits and parts of them that much better as time goes on. But the machine is essentially the same. So there's no real impetus to try to think, hey, there's a big chunk of new technology I'd like to get a hold of. There is not that on these machines. In fact, if you were looking for one of these and lusted after one, I might suggest to you find a used 21 through 23 with not a lot of miles on it, save yourself a bundle of money and perhaps some insurance coverage costs, and pick it up. Get it vetted at your local dealer and pick that one up as opposed to going new at this stage. Now, generally, Aprilia, along with most of the other motorcycle manufacturers, have been pretty conservative in their updates and model changes. So they don't undertake changes to models on all that regular of a basis. So I think the previous gen ran from, well, I'm going to say 2017 through 2021, 5 years, thereabouts, 4 or 5 years. And this one is getting out in that area too. So there may be a model change around the corner, but you'd still be getting a magnificent machine. Oh, here's a 3-wheeled machine. You may see me on one of those one day. Well, if my current degradation keeps going on. And my overall impression of this bike and the joy of ownership and riding it is still very, very positive. Hey, we won't have to wait here very long. And I still like riding it. Now, what's a challenge for an older rider on this machine, whether you're experienced or not, really, is, whoa, 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 whoa. Why don't they ever fix that road? Write a letter to the San Diego mayor and tell them to fix that road. Gary doesn't like it. So, is probably the knee bend and the hip bend is fairly challenging for an old guy or gal. It's you're pretty tucked in the lower parts of your body. Now you can relax. I'm stretched out. My arms are pretty stretched out. There's a slight bend in my elbows, but you can put risers on it and lessen that stretch, make that a little easier on you. That's available to do. So you could do that arms wise, but it's not, for me, it's not necessarily my arms. Although if I was on the machine for a longer period of time, I might get a little bit of neck crank from holding my neck up. But it's about the tuck in the knees and the hips. That's where the issue lies. Now I did modify my foot pegs to drop them and move them a little forward and backwards. The toe levers and the heel levers and things, just to make it a little easier for my size 10 3/4 feet. And that may not, if you're outside the North American continent, that may not be such a big deal, but it was pretty necessary for me. When I first got it and I rode it home, I remember talking about riding it home. In fact, I'll post my ride home when I picked it up. I was just so impressed by this machine, how smooth it was. But and I don't know that I mentioned it on the video, but I don't think I did. But the toe boxes, the positioning of your feet into the toe pegs was tight. I really had to almost take my foot off the peg to reach forward and get my toe under the foot peg to operate the shift and the brake. So it was set up tight. I think it was set up for people with probably about a size 8 foot, maybe something like that. And but once I've done that, it's okay foot-wise. It's just that you are in that tuck position. So enough of the tuck position, but be aware. Make sure if you're considering one of these and you're of an age, make sure you sit on one. That's all I can tell you. But the ride is plush, can be a little firm. I need to experiment a little more with my suspension settings. Can be a little bit firm, but the ride's pretty plush, and she is oh so responsive. I can just imagine what that 660 feels like in terms of response. But 3 years on, I'm going to stick with it a while longer. I will probably at some stage in the future have to perhaps downsize, given my vintage and my physical condition. I'm working on my physical conditioning, but I may have to downsize, and that 660 may look better and better to me as time goes on. Okay, that's it on the update with the motorcycle. We're just going to enjoy a little bit of riding here. We'll do that on another little vlog. So, see you later.